Hello and welcome. Happy Thursday. It's Josh here with On the Wrong Lead. And yeah, back after a week off. I was in beautiful Las Vegas last week with family and had a nice little vacation. And actually, I didn't really bet much horses last week. It was actually kind of nice. Uh, nice to recharge the batteries, especially because, man, I feel like once you hit the ground running in January, with starting with the Derby preps and like Pegasus all the way through Cigar Mile, like it's a long year. So it's nice to take some time off, and we're gonna be wrapping some stuff up here over next couple weeks. But figured we do a little bit of a traditional stream this week. Play some Turfway. Take a look at Gulfstream Park. Mark, I know Gulfstream Park is probably your favorite track to play during the winter. You're a big Florida fan. Just you love everything about Gulfstream Park.
I love everything about Gulfstream. It is clearly my favorite track, and just everything about it. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place. Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, for the type of player that you've turned into, though, you have to play Gulfstream.
I have to. Yeah, you sort of run out of places to play, and until Santa Anita starts back up, it's sort of slim pickings, right? And, I get stuck playing a little Gulfstream.
And I know you're a big tournament guy, so that means
If you are a tournament person, you are stuck playing Gulfstream because, man, dude, tournaments love Gulfstream. I think it's just that they run so much of the year there, and there's a player base that loves to frequent those tournaments. But boy, is it I think from a tournament sense, Gulfstream's not as bad of a track to play. I think though trying to link together horizontals there, I just find really hard. There's some really cheap racing there, and there are some races that just you could get those calamity factor horses that random 50-1 that makes no sense on paper. And you're like, how did that happen? But from a tournament standpoint, not as bad to structure around
uh, there's probably only one person I know of who probably dislikes Gulfstream as much as you do, and he happens to be the third member of our team tonight, Mr. Caleb Knight. How are you doing,
it.
Caleb?
Hey, he's alive. He's
Uh-oh, he's
muted
muted.
too, which is actually the preferred Caleb Knight way of being.
I know
It's
he
just
is better to
beautiful
look at,
face
isn't he?
there. You just stare at it. He looks handsome. His lips move. Nothing comes out. It's just great.
He's trying to
He
figure out
can't
what's
talk me
going on.
off any Mountaineer shippers this way. It's just awesome.
Is that better?
There you go.
I mean, it depends what your frame of reference is.
Yeah, Gulfstream sucks. I haven't put $1 through Gulfstream yet this year, and it is my goal to not bet $1 at Gulfstream. I know it won't happen, but I'll make it a little more realistic. It's my goal not to bet $1 at Gulfstream outside of Pegasus Day, Fountain of Youth, or Florida Derby. Any other day at Gulfstream, I'm going to try to avoid it. I can't stand that track.
Chase saying, Josh lets his world get blurry and Mark grows an actual man beard. What in the fuck beans? I actually, the first time, as soon as Mark joined, I was like, oh, okay, you're going for it, huh? And
Do the Viking. Yeah.
I mean, it's
I
something.
got the red beard already. Little Viking look.
It's something. Well, I guess let's get down to business. What are you drinking there, Mark? What do you got there?
I actually broke out a little bit more of the Balmore 15. I liked the first one so much that I bought the last one that my liquor store had.
I thought you were drinking the Bowmore 12 last time. Was it the 15 that you were drinking?
I had the 15. Yeah, the 15 is really nice. It's apparent. I don't know. It's apparently sherry aged where the 12 isn't. So it's got a little more. It's a very, very nice pour. It is. It's good stuff. I like it. I think it's probably top 3 scotches I've ever had. So.
Wow. Caleb, did you walk in with the bottle?
No, I rushed in because I was late and I didn't grab anything. I'll probably.
Okay, I'm sure you'll have time. You'll have time to go get something. I got our good old friend PDT.
Ooh,
You know what that is, Caleb? Yeah, you know what that
EHT
is.
barrel
Yeah.
proof. That's like probably like a top 2 bourbon I've ever had.
Yeah.
This is the best bourbon I think I've ever had. Yeah, I liked it better than the William LaRue Weller that he sent me.
Did you see? I switched them, but those were my top 2 out of the samples
Yeah,
I sent over.
I mean, I think that they're real close. But I don't know. I think I just like the flavor profile on this one a little better.
So I know you like the stuff that's a little bit a little higher alcohol content, and you're not a big weeder fan. But how would you compare it to like a CYPB?
I've never had CYPB. Oh, I have. You sent me.
Yeah, you
one.
have. I sent you some.
Well, Caleb hasn't because
Caleb hasn't because the U.S.
his
Postal
bottle
Service
exploded.
does
Or
not
the United
whatever.
States Postal Service let me down.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the CYPB and the William LaRue Weller are close. But I don't know. Like I'll tell you, man, that WLW like it didn't feel like a weeder. It didn't. I don't know. There's
No, it
something
didn't.
different. See, like the shitty weeders, like you get that like kind of like grassy note that I'm not a huge fan of. Like you get that with Maker's Mark, like basic Maker's Mark. I don't get it so much in like the nicer expressions or the barrel proof ones or the private selects or anything like that. But definitely with the other like the real like low end ones, I definitely get it. So I don't know. They're good. The CYPB I remember being really good, but it didn't stand out to me much more than like 107 or
Yeah, I think to me CYPB, there's nothing you don't go, oh, there was some flavor there that was just amazing. It just was good end to end, and for me that's probably the best bourbon I've ever had. But yeah, okay, cool.
But yeah, so taking a look at Turfway here real quick. We got 11 minutes. Mark, I know you got something live here, the 2.
Yeah, I have a $5 double into the 2, and then I started up a pick 3 here where I am very heavy to the Corrales horses of the next 2 races, and then spread a little bit in the last. So I have multi-ticket. I can throw it up in. You want it, Josh? I can send it to you.
Yeah, just send it to me and I can put it up. Yeah, I don't think I think I only played single race bets. Yeah, I had that 8 though, or that 10, that $8 to win in that 10. So I was kind of surprised. They're not betting Corrales off the board like they were before. So
looking at doing a little handicapping, I expected this horse was going to be 3 to 5.
Winter Sunset.
Yeah, the 2 here. No, this one. Yeah, was it Winter Sunset?
I believe so.
Or no, yeah, Winter Sunset. Yep.
Unless I'm looking at the wrong race. Yeah. Yeah, I mean 2 to 1 in the book is 2 to 1. 2 to 1 on the board still. So that's a little surprising. You got some nice turf races here. Hasn't won since 2019 though, so maybe that's kind of scaring people. But I wonder, is that the condition? 9 winners over since September 16th. So
I mean, I don't really trust the last figure out of Made in Italy that sort of came out of nowhere. And I think the 6 is just not really fast enough to win this. The synth races going way back are definitely way too slow. And I think the 2 sort of sits that trip that you want to be setting at Turfway, which is that bit of a pocket trip where you can make that, Corrales has been making middle moves all meet and, kind of sit just off the pace, stay covered up, make that one big sweeping move. And he's been getting them home. So, yeah, I got pretty aggressive to the 2 here.
I think it's going to be a weird Christmas for the Wilkes Landeros clan, huh? 1 for 23 last 2 months. That's I don't think that's going to get it done. I think I'm actually kind of surprised. Landeros generally rides pretty decent at this meet. I mean, he's 11% right now. So Chase saying that the rest of us need to tighten up. Caleb, you're beautiful. And PDT still saying that Chase was promised a hot tub. Caleb, is there a hot tub in the back of that new place?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, there we go.
We'll just get a good old West Virginia hot tub and just put a kiddie pool in the backyard, or maybe throw
Oh,
a
God.
bathtub over a propane heater for the crawfish boil.
For
That'll be
some
good.
reason, I have a feeling that Chase has definitely been in like some kind of tarp and truck situation. That definitely seems like something that Chase has done. What do you think of the pace of this race? It seems like there's a lot of horses that want to be poorly placed here, don't you think?
Yeah, that's how it felt to me. I mean, I think what 1, 3, 4 all look like they equally want to be, kind of on the engine. I think there's a fair bit of pace, and I guess that's sort of why you know, I like the 2 even more. Is that one that's going to get first run on those pace runners who hopefully tire a little coming into the stretch.
That 2 is such an odd horse that every time Drew gets up, he makes the lead. And anytime anybody else is up, he's a stone cold closer. I don't understand the logic as to what Drew must be thinking there. But
Which is funny,
Yeah.
right? Because if you think about Drew
he's
as
not a
rider,
Sen jock, typically.
No.
Yeah.
That is really weird. I wasn't really paying that much attention to it. I just noticed that. So, but I always have this sort of issue with Turfway, and that you see a lot of these turf horses that ship to Turfway, and I don't quite know like what's the conversion factor of the turf figure to what works at Turfway. It's always a little bit of a. I always find it hard to, because you get those horses here, that are all first time runnings on synth, and they're coming off, some coming off dirt, some coming off turf. How do you come up with that? I always have a hard time with it. I know Josh knows the pedigree here a little better than I do, so a lot better.
I mean, basically all I know is if it's algorithms, you bet it. But no, I don't know. Like, I see this 5, right, 9-5 in the book is taking it's taking money. It's 3-2 here. I think they're betting him based off that figure back at Newcastle on the synth. Horse ran a 111 on Timeform there, and that kind of towers over this field. Even his last out was a 109, but that it was on the turf, going a mile and an eighth. So I don't know. I think alternatives. I like the 2 alternatives here. I like the 2 and the 6. I'm not really coming out of the motions barn, going to a trainer that I'm not really familiar with. Are you familiar with this trainer?
Ian Wilkes? No.
The 5?
Never.
The trainer of the 5? Isn't it Daniel Leitch or whatever?
No, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I like the 2 and the 6 here a little bit.
So it looks like this Daniel Leitch guy is a bit of a Caleb hometown trainer.
Is he from the mountain?
He's the last 2 starters were mountain horses.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
And they look like they were mountain on turf starters.
That's like the rare mountain, the rarest of the mountains.
Yeah, they only run on turf like 3 days a year.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a bunch of Mountaineer starters, Little Churchill, Little Belterra.
I wish I could find a closer in this race, but yeah.
I mean, isn't the 2 the closer you want? I mean, I realize the horse isn't a closer; it's a
Yeah, I mean, he kind of seems like he just sort of runs evenly, and no wins in 2 years kind of bugs me. It's Corrales though, so it probably doesn't matter.
What do you got in the next race, Mark? Did you send? Oh, I think you might have sent me your.
Yeah, I sent you the tickets. I'm pretty aggressive to the 2 in the next race as well. I just assume Corrales wins every mount he's on, so you just get really aggressive with the Corrales horses, right?
Let's see if I can share your screen here. Microsoft Edge tab is this one. Yoink.
Yeah, there's 4 total tickets there. So
let's.
I think there's 4.
Yeah, there's 4. There we go.
So the most money's going through that 2-2 over 289 ticket, which is using both the Corrales horses of the next 2 legs, and then use the 5 and the 6 a little bit in this race, and then the 1, 3, 4 in the next one a little bit. But I need one of the 2s in this race for the next to win.
Caleb is currently Josh capping it. What's kind of funny is I was on with Ed DeRosa before this. We were talking a little bit about the Pick 5 carryover and some of the races there on the Horse Racing Nation's YouTube, and we were talking through, and I forgot the point I was going to make. We were talking through and talking about like handicapping speed. He was talking about it, how he's taken to trying to handicap and not spend so much time and dwell so much time on handicapping. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I like doing that too. And then I'm like, then again, we spend 90-minute show handicapping like 4 or 5 races. So I don't know if I'm part of the problem or not here. But
that pick 5 paid $8K too. Whew.
yeah.
And there's one horse that was hard to have. I get that. I mean, if you assume that the race was terrible, which it was probably easier to get to that horse. But yeah.
Yeah, it brought up the Brian theory that Brian came up with a couple years back. I was talking to Ed about it, about the like find 2 or 3 singles and then just go all or all in the other legs. I'm like I don't know if there's merit to it, but like sometimes like when you kind of reverse engineer the sequence, you try and figure out how do I get to that horse or how do I get to the sequence, and you kind of do that. Kind of like looking over your hand history, right? Like in poker, you look at a race and you're like, okay, how do I get to that horse? Or you look at a sequence and it's like, how would I have structured it to get there? I mean, sometimes you're just wrong. But PDT saying he's going to laugh at the 3 booms us here. So Caleb naturally is going to take the 3, so that way he
is it a Sisterton horse?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think so. No, K Fletcher. I don't know who that is either. I was actually looking at race 7 to try and figure out who I'm going to try and double into.
That's a bear of a race, unless you go with the 2.
I mean, I like the 2 a little bit, but I thought I liked the 11 and the 12 as well. So I might just do I got some Dutch action here. 5. We'll go.
Sort of like that 2 just clears off next race and never looks back.
By the way,
it has been a little snake bitten, I guess.
I just was realizing that the dam of this 2 is freaking Winter Memories. Holy crap. Probably before both your time, isn't it?
Yep. Well, sure. I mean, if it wasn't the last 2 years before Josh's time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Justify? Funny Duck? No.
I can't believe Justify is like the year you came in. Such a low point in racing.
Dude, I know. I've gotten the good stuff, right? Like I always tell people. I started really following horses when Justify won, and the 2 derbies I remember, 8 Bells and Barbaro. So yeah, so it's just kind of like
bad.
yeah, it's and like honestly, like I use that as a point too to tell people because people always talk about hey, you got to press all the good that happens in horse racing, and I'm like, look, like when the biggest stage, when stuff like that happens, like that sticks with people, like I didn't plan on ever following horse racing, but I always remembered the whole 8 Bells thing. I remember she was a filly, I remember the run against the boys, and remember the end result. So I don't know. No, Road Warrior. Of course, Road Warrior knows who Winter Memories is. Look at, I think half the time Mark just makes these references not for our edification or for our reference or for our usefulness. He's just trying to show off to Road Warrior because
you're not wrong. Road Warrior and I are both a little old school, and we can chat up about good old days.
Oh man. Looks like they're loading the gate here. We got 6 horses.
Then you're
at the
probably
board,
talking about Gulfstream, aren't you?
Yeah, we are going to talk about Gulfstream, and I mean, man,
I don't know if I had enough alcohol yet.
Yeah, Mark might need a. Good thing Mark doesn't own a house because he might have a lien against it after.
Well, I do own a house, but
no.
Good thing I don't own a second house, so I could.
Yeah.
Just go with it. It's for the joke.
Sorry.
Well, there goes. What in the world?
So I know, Mark, you have the 2 here. Josh, what'd you play?
I got the 2 and the 6. I'm doubling into the next race. I kind of Dutch to a couple different horses.
This
I
is
kind
kind
of
of
thought
not
this.
the pace scenario I expected. I figured this
They're
would
going
be a
24
little,
flat, which is I
probably be
think
a little more contentious on the front
decent
end.
enough. But the 6 has completely lost contact with the field, so unless this thing melts down, I think my best shot is 2 on the rail.
Damn, 2 took all the late money too. Well, no, he didn't. He was 2-1, I guess. He took it off the morning line though.
A little bit of late money, yeah.
Where is the 5 is sitting?
And this is the
Just
Corrales
up the
move.
2.
There's the 5 can probably run me down late, I'm assuming.
I always feel like Corrales moves too early.
Moves
he
too
always
early,
has
but
horse somehow at the end, and it works.
I don't
So
get it.
understand.
Yeah, he does. Every time you see that move, you're like, oh, he's going too early.
Yeah, it looks like
But
it's too
except
early
for
every time.
it seems
but,
to work.
Like, we'll
Yeah,
see.
but look at that's. I mean, he's making the 5 going the inside, which
Yeah, he even. Well, he's got a shot.
Yeah.
the thing is that the inside I still don't think is the place to be. But I don't know.
Let a horse. Hold on.
Oh, that is some grade A race riding by Corrales
That
right
is
there.
what a nice ride.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Like I don't know what it is. Like he just understands the way that the track's playing.
If that 5 gets to outside, he probably wins. But that was
Yep.
such a good move to float wide and force him into the fence.
Yep, and you could watch him. He was looking. He realized that if he was able to get outside, and then came. That was just a great job of race riding. Well, that's.
That's why Corrales is at like 30% and Alvin Jimenez is at 5.
I don't understand why, but it's like he can only seems to be able to do this here in Kentucky Downs.
All right. Road Warrior saying old school is a compliment to him. He's Gen Z and he's been called a boomer on Twitter. I remember
you're old school on this stream because you remember horse racing for more than 2 years ago.
We had I remember we did a podcast and I had just a bunch of different on the wrong lead listeners and people who have interacted with us over the years and just kind of did everybody. And man, Road Warrior, like he came prepared. He had notes, and like he was just like, and then like he's like I go to college. He's like in his like early 20s. I was like, holy cow, dude! Like you like it was like blew me out of the water over here. I'm like scrambling trying to keep up with this guy, and good stuff.
We going to Gulfstream?
Yeah, let's go to Gulfstream. Let's let me pull up my good old PPs here.
You're gonna start in the race with I named it the river that I can't pronounce. Oh, we're on the 7th. Oh, right.
I was just looking through, but the Suwannee River. I should have had you pronounce that one because
I would have murdered.
You would have murdered it. Yeah. I was actually kind of surprised. Our morning line favorite in this race is Shifty She. Going to be 3-1 here on the morning line. You got Alms at 4-1, Princess Causeway at 6-1, Sweet Melania at 6-1, Summering 8-1, and Hurry at 5-1. So, and then you got a couple of long shots here. I thought this was a pretty good field. I thought this is a fun little race here. Mark, what did you see here?
I mean, it's a great race for Gulfstream in the end of December, but
here we go.
No, I mean it's a fine race, right? Like it's okay. I don't know. I mean, I think the favorite to me makes a lot of sense. Shifty She likes to win. 6-10 lifetime, 4-6 at Gulfstream. Definitely your horse for course. Safi is really good with Gonzalez up. It seems like a horse that makes a ton of sense here. And I thought the other horse in here that made a lot of sense was just to the inside, the 2-horse, the Shig horse, in a hurry. I thought, both of them seem to be, I know that in a hurry, they've tried a bunch of different distances with, and it seems like, she handles this, this mile trip the best of all of them. I thought those are the 2 that I wanted the most of. But I think this is also one of those races that I think there's some outsiders that make some sense, and I wouldn't fault anybody from going against them. But I went through most of my money going through the 2 and the 3. I think in here, I think those are your most likely winners.
What kind of like a fall from grace for the 10, Sweet Melania, huh? I mean,
She
wasn't
hates
this
winning. I mean,
like
she almost seems like one of those horses that on connections, I'm being in the Pletcher barn and having the name, she takes money every time. She's never really been that good though. She's the fields that she's beaten. I mean, if you go back to that like that Wonder Again or her Jessamine, those weren't really great fields. She's never really beaten good company. And when I mean, she shows up and runs her race. She just doesn't really like to win. I mean, she's 3 for 14 lifetime for a reason. She's just not that good. And I understand they keep, running her at this level. It's probably where she belongs. She's that kind of horse that if she catches a soft G3, she can probably get it done and catch a nice, check. But I just, I don't even think this race is soft enough for her. And she just doesn't really get it done very often. But yeah, she takes money every time. Always takes money.
yeah, I mean, I think people, she was kind of a bit of a win machine as a 2-year-old? Yeah, as a
She's
2-year-old.
only won 3 lifetime. So, and she's now a 4-year-old. All those one of those wins came in 2020, and the other 3 were in 2019. So, yeah, she was definitely better as a 2-year-old. I know Caleb talks about these types of horses a lot who never really improved from 2 to 3. Well, she never really improved from 2 to 3. And then she also didn't improve really from 3 to 4. And she's just, everybody else is caught up to her. They're just better than her. They really, I mean, they could drop her down to an allowance field, but at that point, she's probably worth more as a broodmare. So why not just retire her? They're never going to probably get back what they paid for her. They paid big money for her. So, I just don't like her hair at all.
Yeah, I don't like her either. I'm Josh handicapping this, so I do kind of agree with Mark, as I think the favorite looks good here. Shifty She, I think she just makes a ton of sense for all the reasons Mark kind of pointed out. It doesn't take an expert to see the horse is 6 for 10 lifetime, 5 of 9 at the distance, whatever else. The only other horse I thought was a little bit interesting. Well, I won't say only, but the 2 horses I thought were a little bit interesting was the number 9 Summering. So I thought this horse. There is a decent bit of speed in here, so I'm not sure the trip that this horse gets with Shifty She probably being speed of the speed, or maybe Princess Causeway. But if she can work out a similar trip as she had last time, kind of stalking just a length off the pace outside of the main leaders, I think that's like the perfect trip for her in here. She clearly has soundness issues given all the breaks in her running lines, but she does seem to fire her best races with some rest. So I think coming in here off of 3 months rest, a nice string of works, I think Summering makes a lot of sense. The other horse I liked in here was the number 4, Keeper of Time. In the event that horses like Summering and Shifty She and Princess Causeway and whoever else hook up on the front, I think Keeper of Time is probably the best closer. This horse took a little while to find her legs when getting over here to America. Didn't do a ton of running in New York, but did sort of turn in an improved effort last time out. At Belmont, I think that she's subtly improved each start since coming to the States. Maybe not in the Pebbles quite so much, but overall, I think she is getting better. And I just think she's probably the closer that I would want in the event that the pace all hooks up on the front.
Any look at Alms in here, the 7 at all, Caleb?
Alms is actually my top pick in this race.
Okay,
so,
go ahead then. Yeah.
I thought for the reasons that Caleb kind of liked the 4 Keeper Time. I think Alms is going to set up nicely for Alms. I don't think Alms is going to be not going to be right up on the pace. I think is going to get that tracking trip. I don't know necessarily if on the Durf you really want to come from the clouds. I think you still want to be you don't want to lose contact with the field, and I think the 7 is going to sit a pretty nice trip here. And the other horse I really like in the spot is the one that Caleb already mentioned as well, the 9 Summering. I think I'm going to kind of have that soft fade on Shifty She, thinking that there might be a bit of pace in here, and I think the 9's probably going to sit that tracking trip, sit in 3rd or 4th, looking at the rest of the field here. And I think is going to get the first run on these horses here. So I think you got the 9 getting first run, and you got 7 coming from just a little bit further off of it. But I'm going to have a soft fade on this 3 here. 3, 11 probably going to be your pacemakers. You might even see the 10 up there on the lead because from that outside post, I think they have to go. So.
Mark, I think all this makes sense. I like your pick there, Josh.
I do as well. Yeah, I I had the 7 and the 9 as Bs. I think both of them make sense. I think that makes. I'm kind of amazed that in this race that we landed kind of all in the same 4 or 5 horses. That kind of shocks me, but okay.
Yeah, I thought 4-1 was pretty fair. I mean, I think Shifty, she's got some of the better figures in this race. Summering has actually got the top figure in the race on Timeform at least. So it'll be interesting to see. I realize I'm scrolling through the wrong PPs here, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Timeform kind of sees this race a little bit differently. At pace wise, I mean, it does agree that it's going to be a fast pace, but I think it's kind of got a little bit of a disagreement on who they think is really going to be coming from off of it. Although they do agree that the 4 is probably the lone closer, like lone dead closer in this spot. So that's kind of a plus there for Caleb's horse. Let's move on to the Rampart real quick. Does anybody have anything like super interesting here, Mark? Did you even look at this race?
I didn't even look at the race. No, I just did the graded stakes, so I didn't even take a look. Yeah,
I thought this race was a little interesting because you get the likes of Queen Nakia, you get Dan Storo, Dream Marie, so you got kind of an interesting field in this spot. Obviously, I mean, I don't know, man.
I feel like speed.
That's what it looks like. The 3 looks like real lone speed. You're getting 7-2 in a short field. I don't know if anyone's going to catch him or catch her in the spot. I mean, this is going to get the easiest of leads here. I know the 6 has been running, just like monster numbers, but if you look back, all of those big figs involve some kind of red figure on Timeform. There's some kind of pace. So I don't know what happens. I think the 3 just runs away and hides. And I think you're going to get a good price. I mean, there's going to be a lot of money on the Safi horse. I'm sure the Safi horse is going to take money, or both of them even. So I think this Knicks horse you might get a little bit of value there.
Yeah, I don't hate that take at all. I think when you're getting a real short priced horse that towers on figures but doesn't win that often, those are the ones I like to go against. And I think the 6 there looks like the kind of horse you try to get around. So yeah, I agree with you. I would think, and I think the 3 would be the most logical, the lone speed type, especially at Gulfstream.
It looks like Road Warriors. I know I missed his comment in the last race. He said he liked the 6 a little bit underneath. Paco gave good ride last time in stays. That was in race 5. He was a fan of Classic Lady there, Christophe Clement. Obviously, Road Warriors going to go with the Christophe Clement horse because the man's just.
You got to respect it.
I know, just the loyalty. I mean, he shows up every week here too. So I mean, he's not just loyal. He's not just loyal to his Naira counterparts, but
I don't get Classic Lady on turf. I mean, she's just not really a turf horse, is she? Like the Jimmy Creed on the top end. I'm like, she doesn't have a ton of turf pedigree. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I don't hate her, but
I thought Jimmy Creed was a turf influence. No.
I mean, he's
dirt, like
medium,
sprinty route.
I think this is it's like a miler-ish pedigree with. I've seen him do well on dirt and turf. I mean, this horse in particular has kind of been bad on the dirt when they tried her. So I get why they're here, but
yeah, I get why they're here as well. I mean, obviously this is where she's had success. I'm not going to fault them going back there, but it just seems like she's. I I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you like her at 15-1, not going to talk you off her. It's one of those types, but I think you get every bit of that, and probably deservedly so.
All right, let's move on to race 8, the Sugar Swirl, aka my every other month chance to bet against Frank's Rocket at 9-5. We got 8 horses here, and we got one of I believe this is a chase horse, Quinoa Tifa. Sounds like a chase
I think
horse.
it
Yeah,
is.
that was a chase horse from like back in the day. Chase horse.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. This is Frank's Rocket is one of those horses that I just like shows up every time she shows up. She's a short price, and I mean, it's been profitable to bet against. I mean, she's shown up at 1-2. She's shown up at 3-5 and lost, even money and lost. I mean, you know, I think this is a big. I just don't think this to steal Mark's line like Caleb stole it. Doesn't like to get her picture taken. So I don't know. It's 6 furlongs. You know, it looks like there's a lot of pace in here, but I don't really think that matters. You got. It looks like Timeform's got the 2, the 4, and the 8 going out to the front end. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning on the Lobo horse here, center aisle. To kind of I know is kind of your second choice here. Is not, I guess, a real super creative pick to get around Frank's Rocket, but I don't know. Frank's Rocket gets bet every time out, so I think kind of coming with a little bit of a fresh face here in the 5 center aisle, I think might be the place to go. I mean, if you go back to her maiden race at GP, did sit off the pace and was able to win. So, has done it mostly on the front end the last 2 times. But I think it's in her eye will be able to come from just off the pace and win here.
Yeah, I have nothing creative to say here. You're on the same 2 horses I am, Josh. I think Frank's Rocket and Center Isle were the 2 that were the most likely for me. And unless Caleb's got something super creative to say, I got nothing much else here.
I'm gonna have to do my best Brian impression here since he's not on. Yeah, I mean, kind of what Josh said. Like Frank's Rocket, sucks, but everyone else in this field kind of sucks more. And that was kind of the problem I had with the race was that, Frank's Rocket burns money and doesn't really, win the races she's supposed to. But her biggest threat in this race is a horse that she's kind of already beat up on a couple times. And that was when the horse was in Chad Brown's barn. I mean, maybe the horse got better on the barn change or as a 4-year-old center aisle, obviously who I'm referring to. I don't know. But yeah, it's hard to fall in love with anybody, but I wouldn't want to sell her for a short price here, even though it feels kind of obvious. I don't think Frank's Rocket is as fast now as she was last year, which is kind of bothersome. And I'm not sure that I totally buy the improvement from center aisle in his last 2 races. I'm going to throw one kind of way down the field here and take a look at the 6 here, my best Brian impression. This horse did less than no running last time out. And for me, that's a race that's just too bad to be true. So I'm kind of ignoring that one. If you look at the 2 dirt races prior to that, on April 25th and March 6th, they weren't that bad. And from a figure standpoint, they came up okay. I'm thinking if by chance, maybe Frank's Rocket, center aisle, and maybe this Lori Loopy's horse kind of end up on the front end, I think the 6 could get the right trip and does have some figs that, get him into get her into the conversation. It's a 20-1 shot, so I'm kind of taking a prayer here. But I just think that last race was too bad to be real. You wouldn't put this horse in a grade 3 based off that effort unless you had an explanation for why the horse ran that poorly. Because the horse was relatively bet that day at 6-1. So I'm thinking there might be a little bit more here. And the 2 dirt races before that weren't too bad. So I'd give a look to the 6 here, compensate.
I actually did look. If I were to go more than the 5, I think the other horse that I would be interested in here would be just outside of your 6, the 7, Bronx Beauty. If you look at the Monmouth race, which I know is the New Jersey circuit is everyone's. New Jersey and Pennsylvania are where the fake horses come from, as Kayla likes to call them. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the last race at Monmouth, that type of trip, that type of figure, I think is really competitive in here, especially if we don't get, especially if we get a really hot pace. I think the 7 could sit the trip that you kind of want your 6 to sit, and it might set up nicely. I think if you were playing in the big StableDuel contest, for example, I think the 7 would make a bunch of sense as a potential win candidate. I mean, 20 to 1 though. At the same time, I mean, you're getting a little bit of better value there. Uh, if you're looking for something like that, or looking for a tournament player or something, but the 7's kind of my second choice in the spot. And you're getting 6 to 1, so you're getting a pretty decent price. You're getting Gaffleon aboard, who's always tends to ride really well at this Gulfstream meet. So I think I think the 5 and the 7 is kind of my alternate choice here in this spot.
Hey, Caleb, just as a counterpoint to what you said, any chance the 6 is just in here for trying to get black type?
It's possible. It wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, that was my take. They're trying to, and if you don't know what a black type is, and if you're listening, they're trying to suck up, get third, so they can sell her at auction and say that she was a graded stake black type. She ran, in the top 3 in a graded stakes race.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with the connections or ownership group to say if this is. I don't even. It doesn't seem like it's a very big stable. I mean, the trainers only had 31 starters all year, and we're halfway through December. So I don't know. I mean, it could be why she's in here, but at 20 to 1, she might have. She has my interest anyway, and I do kind of like your 7 as well, Josh. This is the kind of race where I might use every horse except for the 3 and the 5 because I don't like them.
You're not familiar with CJ Thoroughbreds?
Is that CJ on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's CJ's ownership group. Who's the big horse that they owned? Sally's Curlin. Owner Sally's Curlin. I remember that was
we'll have to ask
big
him.
horse for a while. Oh yeah, we'll text CJ to see if if his horse is live. I forgot which race it was. There was a race at Remington where he's like, yeah, we can't lose, and then I think like the jock didn't fall off, but like he just like had like the most miserable start. He's like, well, that was the only way we were gonna lose. But all right, let's keep going. Let's move on to race 9 here. The race 9 should be another quick one. Harlans Holiday, aka, if I remember correctly, this is the race that Bodie Express set the track record, wasn't it? No, you guys don't remember. You guys know
I don't remember that. I tried to just push Bodie Express out of my brain.
I mean, the like, that's like cheap speed royalty right there, Bodie Express.
But you're asking me and Mark about Gulfstream history, so
yeah, I don't even know why. Hey, I mean, last year we were desperate. Last year we were betting on whatever. 2 years ago, especially, and Gulfstream was the only thing running. You guys were betting Gulfstream in Tampa every single day. What are you talking about?
Those times.
But
dude, desperate times call for desperate measures. Okay,
that's true. So you got 8-5 favorite Fearless. You got 9-5 a Mighty Heart here. And then you get South Bend at 4-1, Eye of a Jedi 8-1, Blue Steel, and 20 twice. I'm gonna go with an off the wall pick here, and I'm gonna take the 4 Eye of a Jet. No, I'm just kidding, Mark. I don't want you to get all upset. I know you like stealing my thunder. I actually like the 5 South Bend in this spot. I think that once again we're kind of looking at a pace scenario where you got a lot of horses that want to get the lead. I know it's only a 6-horse field, so I guess expecting a complete pace meltdown is asking for a lot. But this horse won last out at Churchill Downs, coming from off the pace without super crazy fractions at a mile, and Churchill is not exactly the most closer friendly track out there. So I think South Bend at 4-1 is definitely the value in this race. I mean, I think Mighty Heart might be your most likely winner. Would probably be if you were like, hey, I need a winner in this race, would be who I would go for. But I think South Bend at 4-1. I think he wins this more than a quarter of the time. So Yeah, South Bend will be my pick in this race. Mark, you wanna talk about your 4?
Yeah, I mean, I like South Bend. And South Bend South Bend makes a fair bit of sense in here. Yeah, I think Fearless is your probably most likely winner in this race. Fearless loves Gulfstream, has run really, really well here, and Todd Barnes is running really well. So horse makes a lot of sense. But I kind of landed on a bit of a outsider price that sort of play, and that's the number 4 Eye of the Jedi. This is a horse that 6-year-old with 35 starts. But if you look at those starts, 5 of those wins happen to be, 5 of the 6 lifetime wins happen at Gulfstream. And if you cross off all of the horse's 1-mile tries and look at the starts that are all longer than a mile, all of a sudden the form massively improves on this one. And I think if Eye of the Tiger can run back to the last time Javi was up, which was that Ghost Sapper at Gulfstream at 1.125 in March, horse is a massive player here. And, maybe something went really south since then and something's off. The last 2 starts were nothing impressive at all. But if you play by the argument that this horse needs a little more distance and, kind of rounding into form into that winter Gulfstream form, I thought Eye of the Tiger at 8-1. Again, you have to squint a little bit, but this one makes a lot of sense. And it's the kind of horse I want to have at a 10 a ticket because it's the kind of horse that will, absolutely blow up a sequence if you're playing something like a pick 4 or a pick 5.
I love how you referred to him as Eye of the Tiger the entire time you were talking.
Wait, did I? Oh, damn it. I mean, I have a Jedi. Yeah, I have a Jedi. I have a Tiger. Same difference.
I love this horse so much I don't remember his name.
I'm listening to the song in my head now. But yeah, I would sort of agree with Mark in the sense that I think Fearless is probably the horse to beat. But his last 2 are kind of stinkers. Beaten at even money in both of those starts, and especially that last one where he was right up on a very slow pace and just couldn't get to the ultimate winner. Girolamo's Attack. He didn't do much running next out. He came back to finish 7th in his next start. That was a 5-horse field. I mean, you could argue maybe he needs one off the layoff, but historically, Fearless has been a horse that fires fresh. He broke his maiden in his first asking. Then he won again in the Gulfstream Park Dirt Mile on a, whatever it was, 8-month layoff there. So I'm not really convinced that he's a horse that just needed one. I just don't know what that race was, and I'm not keen to bet him back at a short price here. I would take the other short price, Mighty Heart. I think that he probably has a better running style for Gulfstream. He has the rail, probably gets the lead here with the short stretch going 1.16 So I would probably take Mighty Heart in this race. And I don't hate either of Josh's or Mark's kind of long shot picks here for Eye of a Jedi and South Bend, but I'll take the 1.
Hey, Josh, you're at the post at Turfway.
We are at the post at Turfway. I got doubles to the 2, the 11, and the 12 here.
Yeah. I'm most going through the 2, a little bit of 1, 3, and the 4.
Doesn't the 2 feel like 9 to 5 is almost too long? I mean, doesn't the horse kind of feel like he should be
but
like
the 2 in the last race, we said the same thing about with the same jock up. So
yeah, this horse feels like it should be like 6 to 5, not 9 to 5.
I 100% agree with you. But I thought that the 2 in the last race was going to go off at like 3 to 5. So what do I know?
Dude, you guys ever put a bet in and you're like, what did I like about this horse?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because all the time. Oh, yeah.
I just put win money. I put win money in this 11 because apparently I like the 11. So
I mean, if the 2 gets a little bit tired or hangs like he has in his last couple, the 11 probably is that horse I think that sits 3rd and gets a good trip. So I look at the 11.
At 48-1, I definitely.
Wait, is he really 48-1?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I gotta bet it, right?
Yeah, I would definitely bet. I liked it at 15-1. At 48-1, that's an excellent price.
This is an interesting.
He's getting that exact trip I thought he would if he's good enough.
We're gonna get Cindy Corrales.
That horse was I thought pretty clear speed in this race.
I did too, but I didn't think you'd get this loose.
I mean, he's also going 22 at Turfway, 22-1.
Woo!
I'll tell you, man.
Anywhere.
I think this 11 and 12 they're gonna sit the right trip.
That's 2 looks like he's done.
that was ugly.
Yeah, that was real ugly.
Josh, you're 11.
Oh, come on, 11.
I think the cavalry's coming, unfortunately.
12's going.
12 or
I'll
8,
take 12. I'll take 12.
Nice call.
Oh, okay. Good thing I didn't bet the exacta because the 11 just got nosed out.
And he got nosed by the 8 on the outside.
Yeah. All right, so I got doubles. I'm rolling doubles still. So I got doubles into the 8 and the 1 next race, and then I cashed a $3 double there. So I'll get like what, $60 back. So that's not bad. Man, I'll tell you what though, man, that 11 was looking pretty good. I thought 11 made the Corrales move, made that early.
He ran a good race. He ran a good race. I mean, look what other speeds ended up, and I thought he ran a fine race. He way out finished the 2 and 3.
Made that last little sip of E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof just tastes that much sweeter, you know. Yeah, we were saying Dan almost had the exacta. I didn't bet the exacta, but we're rolling doubles. We're rolling doubles, so we're live to a little bit in the next one. So finally, this is literally the race that made me want to take a look at Gulfstream. Fort Lauderdale going a mile and 1/8 on the turf, and normally these are the kinds of spots where we look at one Caleb Knight of Timeform US podcast fame, of what else have you done? Most of the Timeform US podcast fame, and there's normally got to be a couple horses in here that you're a little interested in, or horses that owe you money, but in fact, there's no horse in here I think that owes Caleb money. However, there's a horse in here that owes Mark like a house. I don't know what this horse owes Mark.
At least a house, yeah.
30-1 in the book.
30-1 in the book. King Guillermo. They're finally putting him back on turf, and he's got turf pedigree all day long, top and bottom. Broke his maiden over turf. Ran really impressive in the pulpit as a 3-year-old. Real beginning of the episode in November, I guess. What is a 2-year-old season? And I've been waiting for them to put him back on turf forever and ever and ever. Paco gets up. I'm super, super, super interested in here. He's a horse that I want to get live to in things. Whether it be doubles, pick 3s, pick 4s, he's a horse that I really want to be live to. I think that this is probably the surface he really wants, and he's probably wanted all along. And there's a whole bunch of Chads in here that are going to take a ton of money, but I want to be live to little King Guillermo because we know that how it works with Josh when these horses owe him money. It's just a thing. It always pays off.
I mean, it's a little interesting that Paco gets aboard, right? Because I mean, Paco gets aboard Chad horses. I mean, Paco gets aboard everybody's horses. So, I mean, I know Avila is in Gulfstream year round. So, I mean, obviously, Paco knows where his bread is buttered. But interesting, right? A little bit.
A little bit interesting. I thought this was a really interesting spot. For a horse that's clearly talented, they just haven't, I don't know, spotted him well, or haven't been able to really get his form right. He's obviously had a lot of layoff lines and a lot of sort of question marks, and a lot of real suspect weirdness. But I think he's super interesting in here. I really like the return to turf. I think this is a very, very interesting spot. And and if he shows up and runs well, you're never going to see him at 30-1 on the turf again.
I don't think you're going to see him 30-1 right now.
Don't think so?
I just think because of the Kentucky Derby name recognition, he'll get bet. Even though he didn't run technically in the Kentucky Derby. But, he'll be a price, though. I think 15-1 is probably real.
Mark is just like, he's getting the checkbook ready.
Even at 15-1, all about it.
Caleb, is there anything in here that stuck out to you?
Honestly, this is a tough race for me to really have an opinion in. Because, I know who Lamperador, whatever the fuck his name is. I know who that horse is, and like I know who Analyze It is, and neither of them are particularly horses that I think are very good. Um, I guess Lamperador is a little bit less exposed, maybe, but Analyze It, I definitely know who that horse is at this point of his career. And like I don't like either of them, but it just feels like there's really nobody in here that looks good either. I mean, I really thought Sol Volante was gonna really get good when they put him back on the turf, and that horse has just not run very well on any surface lately. English B was a horse that was really nice at 3, and then just has proceeded to do nothing for the last 2 years. I mean, breaking the rules. Also, you could argue that he wins some lesser races up in New York here and there, but hasn't really established himself as a stakes candidate. So I had a hard time really finding anybody that I thought looked good. The horse I think is probably the best horse in this field is the 12 Space Traveler, but the combination of the run style and the post has me pretty anxious for this horse. He's not really a one-run closer, but he doesn't have much tactical speed, and he's in the 12 post going 2 turns at Gulfstream. That's just a tough ask, I think, for this horse to really get there and save enough ground to be able to run down the rest of this field. But I do think he is the most talented horse, and he's probably the one I would want most of my money going through, especially after getting some class relief after facing better in his last 2 or 3 starts. So that's probably the horse I would like the best. And then after that, I personally had a tough time latching on to anybody else.
Yeah, I assumed looking at this race when I capped it that you were just gonna, wax poetically about Space Traveler. So I figured you would be all over that horse, just knowing what Caleb tends to looks for. So
yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I agree with Brandon. I think that I think King Guillermo is a horse that if you look back at those 2-year-old races and you figure out standard kind of horse improvement, look how he improved on the dirt from his 2-year-old races. And a lot of times these horses that sort of have, I don't know, quote unquote issues, they've had sort of soundness issues. They can sometimes make good turf horses. They get on the turf and it's a little, I don't know. I know I've heard trainers tell me that it's not really a true thing, but they get on the turf, they run really, really well, or it tends to move them up a little bit. So I like King Guillermo a lot.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Caleb. I think the 12 is the horse to beat in this spot, and kind of just the way Caleb also said, I think there's less holes I can poke in this 12 than I can the other horses. I mean, the one thing Analyze It does have going for him is that Catholic Boy has been retired for like 2 years, so I think he does have that going for him. Analyze It's always been kind of a nice little horse, a nice little G3 type, but Chad's been running this horse at Monmouth and then running him in optional claimers in New York, not running him in stakes in New York. So I think that tells you what you need to know about Analyze It. I'm not gonna say a fake. I'm not gonna say it's a fake Chad, but Caleb will. And the other who's the other short price? Oh, Lamperador. I mean, you're looking at a horse that kind of, ran his best race at an Aqueduct turf, and I kind of feel like horses that run those big figs at the Aqueduct turf, I tend to only run those figs at Aqueduct turf. I mean, his 123 on Timeform that he ran at Saratoga, that allowance race, it probably wins this race. I think it might be the tied for the highest fig, if not the highest fig in this field. But the horse, went to some G2s and G3s and just didn't run back to it, and ran a better fig in another allowance race. But I think this is just going to be a tougher field than what he's been facing in New York. So I think the 12 makes the most sense here. I mean, God, I want this 9 to win. Man, do I want King Guillermo to win? Just like, I just don't see it. I mean, the horse is going to have to improve about 15 points on Timeform. But to be fair, if this really is a turf horse and he improves and runs better on the turf, I mean, if he runs close to his best fig, I think he is dangerous here. But I don't know. I think the name recognition. I think people seeing that 46 and change work at Gulfstream on the 4th. I think he's going to get bet down a little bit. I think Caleb, you're probably right. Probably 15-1, 12-1 is probably what we're going to end up seeing on this horse. But yeah, I mean, Caleb's also brought up Sol Volante. I kind of thought the same thing. I thought that maybe this horse going to turf might, maybe might reinvigorate the horse, but coming back to it, I mean, won his first 2 races on turf, but it just hasn't happened. I love Ben Caracontes, but I don't know. I don't see it with Sol Volante here. Once again, it's another horse that's going to need to pick up at least 8 points to be competitive. I mean, I'll tell you, man, that Kentucky Downs number is at least kind of close, but I mean, look at who came out of that. I mean, In Love came out of that race and ran decent, but Kentucky Ghost and Brown Storm don't really do much for me here. So
I tried so hard to make a case for this horse because I'm like, oh my god, like Caraconte, King Mambo, this horse wants like a mile, maybe 9 furlongs on the turf, and I'm like, well, like there was a period last year where like Biancone's barn was like 3% or something awful. Like maybe you can toss those races. And he was wide last time out, going too far. So, I mean, if you squint and kind of cover one eye and stand on one foot, like maybe you could get there, but it's tough.
I mean, like it's one of those things where, and I was talking to Ed about this on the stream earlier. It's right. Like you want to make cases for horses at long prices, and you want to make cases against horses at short prices. So this horse at a long price, like you want to find it. And the best thing I can say is that he's only 6 points too slow. Like if the horse can find 6 points somewhere, I don't know, like it's like laying in the.
But you're saying he's 6 points. He's 6 points too slow based on turf races from 2 years ago, right? Like,
no, I mean
I don't think that turf figs and dirt figs correlate like that. Like, I don't think if a horse runs 100, for most horses, there are exceptions, but if a horse runs 100 on dirt, they normally don't also run hundreds on turf. There's normally some variance there. There are rare exceptions. I mean, the Secretariats of the world that can do both at, equally high levels, or Saki, or, there's a few of them, but those are rare exceptions. So, I just really wonder, is King Guillermo a better turf horse? We'll know come Saturday.
I mean, I agree with you, but I think, I thought we were talking about Sol Volante.
Sol Volante, yeah.
and
I thought...
Oh, I thought you were talking about King Guillermo. I'm sorry.
No.
My bad.
No, and Sol Volante, like I said, Sol Volante's turf race 2 back at Kentucky Downs, like I said,
somebody had King Guillermo up on the stream when I was looking at the screen, so I assumed that person was talking about King Guillermo. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree, Caleb. Like I really did want to make a case for Sol Volante in this spot. I don't know. Like I think if I'm playing a tournament on Saturday, Sol Volante might be a horse is on a entry or is on my entry, because I don't know, Space Traveler at 5-2 isn't going to win me any contest, unless I'm playing like a head-to-head or something. So Sol Volante would be probably the horse in here I would be willing to take a flyer on. But I need a lot of help. Anything else on this weekend? Have you guys looked ahead at any of the other cards? Caleb, have you? Are you writing an article? Is there a favorite you're against that's not named Hidden Scroll? Because I saw that article was already written at HorseRacingNation.com.
Yeah, people were stealing my thunder, but I was the pioneer, so don't forget it. Yeah, I clearly invented the idea of going against favorites. But no, yeah, actually, I'm polishing up an article now, which is going to be late. So tomorrow night, actually, I don't know if you remember, Josh, but we got some springboard mile action at Remington tomorrow.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, first post. It's a 13 race card, and first post is at 5:00 Central Time. So the feature race, the springboard mile, goes off at 10:30 Central.
Jesus.
But it's got perfect kind of binge into the weekend, kind of some action. They got a bunch of stakes. They're all listed stakes, mostly local horses, but there were some fun races in there. And the the Springboard Mile is always a fun race. It doesn't usually produce many Kentucky Derby winners, but you always get shippers coming in from different circuits. You have some local horses, and it's always fun. So that's a race I've been kind of looking at, and I don't like the favorite on the morning line. Make It Big, the 2. There's a handful of reasons, but that's just a horse that I'm not convinced he was beating anything at Gulfstream. And Safi Joe is a guy that I really tend to fade anytime he leaves Florida, with the exception of maybe Monmouth because they're in cahoots. But he's just a trainer. I feel like you get the tonalist shapes or the who else did he have? Chance It and Nyquist and all these horses that look incredible at Monmouth and Gulfstream, but whenever they have to ship pretty much anywhere else, they tend to not show up. So I'm going to go against Make It Big here. I think there's a lot of interesting alternatives. Obviously, I think the 5 is the preferred runner of the 2 Asmussen horses, and I think he really makes some sense here. I thought the 7 actually looked a little bit sneaky, Rich Strike. Remington obviously plays, fairly speed friendly in general, but you just kind of looking at the Brisnet stats, going a mile on the dirt, obviously on the dirt, only 17% of the races are wired, which is a little bit lower than your traditional average for most other tracks, especially dirt tracks. So I thought that was interesting. So there's a decent chance we'll get an off the pace runner here. A lot of interesting ways you can go. I mean, I tried making cases for horses like the 8 and the 9 as well, who might get those kind of stalking trips sitting 2nd and 3rd, but I haven't totally landed on a single pick yet, but I'm not totally enamored with the favorites, and I don't really like either Asmussen runner. I don't know how he's been. I know he's been doing pretty well at Oaklawn, but on the whole, I still kind of think Asmussen's barn is not quite as hot as you'd like to see heading into a race like this. So I'm going to probably try to get around them as well.
Yeah, I saw Steve B. Well, I was going to say, I saw Steve B talking about the 5 being too far out when it matters. I think he was talking about Sol Volante last race, and yeah, that's probably going to be the thing. What were we going to say, Mark?
I was going to say, I know, Josh, you were talking about tracks for the weekend. Anybody taking a look at Oaklawn? I know, they're running.
I probably will Saturday and Sunday, but I probably won't get a chance to tomorrow.
Because we do have the Oaklawn Whisperer in chat, so.
Well, I don't know that I could ever take the Oaklawn anything title Alpha Chase, but it has been a good track to me the past couple of years.
The only person that could take any kind of Oaklawn title from Chase would be, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Jared Bush. Jared Bush is the only one that could take anybody's title away. He's always got it, man.
Well, if I take Jared Bush's picks, does that mean I could also get the title?
That's true. You do steal all of Jared's picks. Honestly, these night races at Remington are always really fun to play. It's one of my favorite like night tracks to play. I haven't been playing much at night outside of Turfway here and there. So, but Springboard Mile Day is always fun. The cool thing about Remington is Remington does have a turf track, and they run on it quite a bit. It's also one of the things that I know Caleb and I really love about Sam Houston. They got that nice turf course, and they run on it, man. They run on it as much as they can. So that's going to be coming up. I think it's was it 20 days? It's coming up quick.
It's like
though.
early to mid-January, I think.
Yeah, Ed was telling me that they're going to be doing some live streams. He said opening night, I think the first post is like 4 p.m. Central or something like that. So it should be fun. They're getting out here they're getting onto the track. We got 9 minutes till this last Turfway race. Anything else for this weekend? I know this is kind of Gulfstream is really the only place that had any kind of stakes racing this weekend, and then we're really kind of quiet. Well, I'm not gonna say really kind of quiet because Santa Anita opens next weekend, and if I remember correctly, Santa Anita's usually got some nice stakes racing Christmas weekend.
They're probably opening Sunday? Or are they opening the day
26th.
after?
They always open the day after
26th.
Christmas.
Day after? Okay.
And they'll have Malibu Day, and it's always it's a good card pretty much every year.
I was actually laughing. They DRF used to have this really nice stakes calendar, and it was like the only reason I visited the DRF website, and then they got rid of it. So looking ahead, oh, I remember. Yeah, so the 26th they have the American Oaks, the La Brea, the brother Mathis Brothers Mile, the Malibu, San Antonio, and the San Gabriel. So they got one, two, three, four,
That's a
five,
hell of a
six
card.
stakes races on the 26th. So that is that is Sunday. And then Fairgrounds actually runs a pretty decent card that day as well. So yeah, so we'll probably see if we can get some content up for the 26th. I know Caleb, you're going to be going home for the holidays. So
I'm sticking around here actually.
oh, you're not going home.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll be local. So yeah, I'll probably be I'll be around.
Okay, so I think so we probably I was actually thinking about not streaming next Thursday, but if we're around, then I think we might do we'll do a Santa Anita opening day stream. We might not have morning lines because well they might draw early because of the holiday. So look forward to that. We'll be doing some Santa Anita next weekend. I know we'll probably all still be playing Aqueduct because we can't quit Aqueduct even if it's the racing. Well, Caleb, this is your favorite time to bet Aqueduct, right? After the turf closes.
I love Aqueduct any time of the year, truthfully, but I've had my more profitable aqueducts after the turf. Yeah.
See, it's funny. I'm the exact opposite. I do very well there when the turf is up because I love duck turf racing. It's just to me so logical. But as soon as they go just all dirt, it goes off a little bit. Like today was a rough day if you took a look at the duct.
Yeah, I did play the duck today. I did not have a good day today, but winter duct or post turf duct is one of the most bias prone tracks, especially once you get into like actual winter. Like it's winter duct, but it's been like 50 degrees, so it's
We've
not.
got no weather. It was
Yeah,
60 degrees at my house. It was probably 70 down there today.
but once you start getting below freezing, and and they have to manage the track, and you get precipitation and whatnot, there was probably a number of days last year that that lasted 3, 4, 5 days in a row where the rail was just absolutely golden, or a couple days where the rail was terrible. And you pay attention, and there's a lot of money to be made because without turf racing, as much as I do love turf racing, you get pretty much twice as much of a sample size to compare when you're trying to figure out the bias. So it definitely helps a little bit more if you pay attention.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, you definitely get all the duck you can take, all the turf 6 furlong turf races that they get a little tiring after a while.
Well, the Gulfstream turf is always there for you.
Yeah. Hey, Gulfstream Turf.
I just can't wait till Santa Anita gets back and I have and something I can play.
Yeah, we'll see how Santa Anita's field sizes and stuff. I mean, I know that's kind of like the big bane with West Coast racing. I've started to kind of come around a little bit on it. Like I feel like at least the turf racing is usually decent fields, right? I feel like the dirt racing you still get those 4 or 5 horse field nonsense, but I feel like they usually get pretty decent fields for turf. And honestly, I feel like that's a thing nationwide. Is you have the turf racing. Look at Turfway. Turfway's got the highest amount of runners per race, and they're on Tapeta. So I just think that running on these surfaces, either synthetic or turf, I just think you get more runners right nowadays. I don't know.
They're really more than someplace like a Kentucky Downs or a Colonial.
During the winter.
Oh, okay,
During the winter
100% agree. That yeah,
of
no, they put out a
of the
great
tracks
product during
running
the
right
winter.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they put out a great product during the winter. I would 100% agree with you. But yeah, I mean, Santa Anita, some of the dirt races suck, but and I agree. 5 horse dirt fields where there's a horse that's going to be 3 to 5, and the rest of the field's going to all be prices. Those suck. But I think the turf racing there is actually very competitive and very good turf racing at the level it's at. And I think they do a good job with the product. You're going to have the downhill turf again back, which is an interesting wrinkle. So it's I did very well there last year and I had a lot of fun playing it.
So Luke did mention in chat here. He looks like he's got a horse running at Oak Lawn tomorrow. Race 8, the number 7. Let's take a look here. Race 8, the number 7. Coach.
Coach. All right. Cox horse
Coach.
from the Hawks. And
Yeah.
favorite. Nice, man. Good luck there. You gonna be on track or anything?
People were really excited to see this horse come back.
Yep.
Who's talking about it? I don't remember where I saw it, but I know they recall people talking.
It was somebody on Twitter was talking about that horse and was really interested. Yeah, I remember seeing something about that horse. Yeah.
She's keeping good company, and it'll be interesting to see how she's trained through the summer.
Yeah, to answer John. To answer John Wilbanks, not to jump topics here. I don't know if we have enough sample size yet on the Tapeta at Gulfstream to really understand if anybody enjoys it. I know some people I know who've been trying to play it have said it's completely uncappable at this point, that it's just absolutely throwing darts. But that just may be jocks adapting and people trying to understand how to approach it. Also, Tapeta is very notorious for when they put a new Tapeta surface in, it takes like a year or two until it sort of develops the Tapeta feel. I know like when Turfway last year, when they redid the surface, everybody was, I think it was a year or two, maybe it was 2 years ago. Everybody, was it last year? Everybody was the first like month and a half. Everybody's like, this is completely uncappable. This is crazy. This is horrible. Then after that, people were like, oh, okay, they figured it out. And I think it's just the surface needs to be turned and worked and kind of, chewed up a little bit before it gets some consistency. So to answer your question, at this point, nobody really knows.
I will say I saw a aerial shot of the Tapeta surface, and it is narrow. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
So as someone who doesn't give a shit about Gulfstream, is it inside of their turf course?
Outside of the turf course.
It's outside. It's between the dirt and the turf.
So it's between the dirt and the turf.
They had an inner and an outer turf course. So they used to do the thing a lot of tracks do where they put dogs up and they run an inner and outer lane like Woodbine does, or a lot of places do it that way.
Right.
They took the
all the way out to like 144 feet or something.
Yeah. So they no longer do. They took the outer lane out and replaced it with Tapeta.
Interesting. Okay.
So you will no longer see 120-foot rails at Gulfstream.
Yeah, I saw a race though this Saturday. The rails were at 55, so they're still out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's for the Fort Lauderdale, I think.
Really?
Huh. No, I'm going way back, and I don't know why I'm asking you guys, but because you guys
so like a year and a half.
Fucking know. When the Fort Lauderdale, is that the race that Glorious Empire wired? That sound right?
I mean, he may have, but I thought he wired. I thought he wired something at Saratoga.
He did. He wired the. Was it the 4-star? Not the 4-star, Dave.
Was it the Sword Dancer? Maybe.
Sword Dancer. He wired the Sword Dancer.
That's what I
thought. Glorious Empire horse. That after that race, I thought Jerry Brown was just like the most brilliant person in the world because he had it.
He wired the Bowling Green and the Sword Dancer. He wired.
Yeah, he did both actually.
Yeah, he had that on his. It was on his notes. His what's the thing called? The
seminar.
The seminar. Yeah, he called out Glorious Empire. I was like, man, Jerry Brown is just brilliant. And then I don't think I hit another winner off the sheets and yeah, Fort Lauderdale. He wired that one too. He was lone speed in that one, clear lone speed, and he went off at he went off at 7.5 to 1. But it looks like they're loading in the gate here for the last at Turfway. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're trying to keep people entertained and talk about stuff. I know Gulfstream's not exactly our forte, although it was my highest Roy track last year. Go figure. Next week we'll be going back to Santa Anita, which is something that we all play pretty regularly. We'll catch you guys next week. Caleb's gonna have a something up on the site at horseracing.nation.com. He's gonna have a article trying to beat a favorite, make sure you just bet the favorite in whatever race he picks.
The last couple of weeks, that's the way to go.
And then going here in the gate. What do I have here? I already forgot. I gotta open up my bet pad. Thanks, John. You have a good weekend too, man. Always appreciate you showing up. I always see you in Papo streams. I appreciate that you stay up late here and watch us. I got the 1 and the 8 here.
I played a 289 exacta.
Oh man, this 8 took all the money, huh? 7-5.
All the money.
7-5. I got a $6 double to it.
Yeah, I wish I'd used your 12 as a C in the last. That would be live to things here. That would have been nice.
And I think Sophie Doyle's on the 8, right? Yeah.
So
Sophie
the
wrote
sixer's named Lola Flo. I mean, isn't Flo supposed to be riding that horse? Rule or something?
Isn't Flo in Hot Springs?
Is he in Hot Springs or is he in?
He's usually in Hot Springs.
Oh, I figured he was riding Fairgrounds.
Oh, he might be Fairgrounds.
Oh, he might
actually.
be, man.
I know he was at Hot Springs last weekend when I played.
Oh, this 5.
What'd y'all have? Anyone have the 6?
I got the 1 and the 8. No, we didn't have the 6.
I got neither of the 2 leaders at the moment.
So hopefully Sophie's going to get the Saudi Daisy up here. It's floating her out the outside here, but I don't think anyone's
I
catching
think
the
the
6.
6 is gone.
In the wrong lead, just like us.
No.
Keeps
Steve
logging
B
out.
asking, yeah, Steve B asking when we normally stream. We usually stream Thursday nights this time, 7:30. So you caught us at the normal time, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Usually go till hour and a half, so till right about now. So thanks for tuning in. We usually look at some live racing, and we take a look at the weekend's racing as well. So next week we'll do a little preview of Santa Anita, it's opening day card, and we'll probably play a little bit more Turfway, or whatever else is running. But yeah, that's an unfortunate way to end here. Luckily I hit that double last race, paid for my wages for the day, but could have used a
I mean, the 6 did whack the 5 right out of the gate, so they might look at it, but I think the 5 would get put up if anything. So
yeah, I got the 1 and the 8. So my 1.
You got a little horse that's been
here.
beaten in its last 3 starts by 21 3/4 lengths, 33 3/4 lengths, and 30 3/4 lengths. Suddenly winning. That's always makes you feel good.
See you, Steve. Thanks for tuning in.
He was due.
Yeah, he was due. Yeah, that's my kind of logic there.
Whew.
But all right, man. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. We're On the Wrong Lead. Catch us at ontherwronglead.com. You can buy T-shirts. We try to post articles and stuff, but we've been really lax about that. New Year's resolution. We'll get back on that. And then obviously you guys know our YouTube channel, on Twitter at @wrong_lead, and we'll catch you guys later.